Welcome to Money, Manifestation, and Business, the podcast that shows you how to use your energy, intention, and consciousness to reprogram your money mindset, unleash a new level of possibility, and create a life and business that lights you up. I'm your host, Jamie Berman, and I invite you to join me each week for a dose of inspiration, coaching, and teachings to help you rewrite your money story, create abundance on your terms, and grow your business in a way that's fully aligned for you. This is going to be so much fun. Let's dive in. Right, y'all, we're going to talk about launching and the practices that I utilized this past month to manifest a $160,000 launch. I just finished my Soulful Six Figure Mastermind launch, and it went amazing. And I love launching. And I want to tell you on this episode some of the reasons why I love it, but also I'm going to give you a combination of some of the energetics that I practiced in order to manifest this $160,000 launch, and also some of the actions that I took, right? Who am I? Talking about actions? What? No, but actually, I really do love launching, and I believe I'm really good at it. At this point, I have number of launches under my belt. I really enjoy them. I think it's such a fantastic way to bring in an influx of clients. I think it's a fantastic way to bring in an influx of money. It's amazing. And of course, it's not for everyone. It's not going to go with every single business structure. It's not going to go with everyone's personality in terms of how you like doing business. But for me, I really enjoy live launching because I tend to be someone who likes seasons in business. So I like having kind of that down period where I just go all in and like over delivering to my current clients. And then I like having a sprint season where it's all about over delivering to everyone in my community. And that's what I think of as a launch. It's an opportunity to over deliver to your entire community and then invite them into a program, right? Invite them in to work with you. So I'm a fan of launching because I like that. I like that mixture of kind of slowing down and then having seasons of sprints, having seasons of high energy, because launching is high energy. I'm not saying it is like all highs. I will tell you what, it can be a roller coaster, even for me, after doing it so many times. I've launched so many times, and it can still be a roller coaster, but there's something about it that I love. And now I kind of understand the rhythms of it. I kind of understand the roller coaster. So it's kind of like going to an amusement park where you're like, yeah, the roller coaster is scary. There is some ups and there's some downs, but I'm here for it. This is fun. It's a ride. I feel very alive doing it. And that's kind of how I feel whenever I'm launching. So anyways, we're going to get into this because I have a lot to share on this episode. So let's talk about some of the action/strategies first, and then I'll get into the energetics. Sound good? Okay, so first thing, in terms of actions, before we dive into the specific strategies of this launch, I have to say, I do attribute having a big launch to having shown up consistently in my business for years. I've been showing up consistently in my business for 5.5 years. You have to remember that. And it's not necessarily about the amount of time that I've shown up. It's just the fact that since I've shown up consistently, it means that I have delivered a lot of value to a lot of people. And I have built my audience, and I have built trust, and I have built relationships. And that's really what I have been practicing for the past 5.5 years, is just building relationships with people, helping people, whether they're paying me or not, like offering value, helping people. Anyone who shows up in my world, I want them to have transformation. And that's really been my intention for 5.5 years. Now, I've been in I've been in my coaching business for 7.5 years, but the first 2 years I was not consistent. And if you've listened to this podcast, you know those first 2 years, I didn't make a lot of money. So I will say there is a correlation there, right? If you're consistently delivering value and helping people, it's going to show up in your results. So we'll just start off saying that I really do attribute a lot of this to a lot of the relationships that I've built and just showing up over time. So if you are like consistently showing up in your business, I just want to say the compound effect is real. And who you're talking to right now is probably going to be a buyer in your future, whether that's a month from now, whether that's 2 years, whether that's 5 years, right? So what you're doing is having an impact, whether you can see it or not. Because I know how it feels sometimes online. You're like, am I talking to anyone? But you are. So remember that. Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about the structure of this launch and how it worked for me. So what I was selling for this launch was my Soulful Six Figure Mastermind, which we just kicked off the first call yesterday. And oh my gosh, am I excited about it? I'm so excited about all of the new clients who have come in, those who have returned and are coming back for another round of magic. I manifest the best clients in the entire world. Like my heart is just full. It's wild. And I do attribute the manifesting the right aligned clients to some of the energetics that I practice that I'm going to touch on. But oh my gosh, I'm just filled with excitement for this round. And I'm so happy with who came in, with how this launch went, and the way that I ran it, basically. So like I said, I was selling my Soulful Six Figure Mastermind, which I open twice a year. And so what I did was I offered a free event first. And that's what I tend to do for these live launches is I offer a free event where I'm showing up and I'm just delivering value to my community. So anyone can show up to this. Why I like offering a free event for me is because I want my future clients or those who might be interested in coming into my mastermind to really have a taste of what it is that I do. I want them to really understand what the energy is like to be in my world, to be in my containers. And I want them to see, is this something that I'd like to be a part of? Am I getting value ahead of time from the free event or not? Am I aligned or not? So I think it really helps whenever you do some kind of a free event. It helps you to manifest your most aligned clients because they already get a taste of it. And if they love the free event, you know they're going to love your paid offer. What I did this time was I had a 5-day free money manifestation challenge where I showed up live for 5 days straight and just delivered so much value to my community. So I had this 5-day free challenge. And then after that 5-day free challenge, I started to sell the mastermind. So for those people who wanted to keep going, who wanted to dive in and go deep and do this work over a 6-month period, they had an offer there for them. They were able to come in and I was inviting them into the mastermind. Okay. But what I want to share with you that I think a lot of people miss, and I think it's why I manifest so many amazing people into my events and into my programs, is because I go all in on promoting that free event. So I think of it like it's different periods of time throughout the launch. So the first period of time is just me using my focus, my energy, my intention, and me manifesting the most people into my free event. Anyone who wants to come, I want them to join. So I'm just manifesting that people are able to find it, that they find their way in. I was manifesting that more people come in than ever before. And I actually did end up manifesting double what usually comes, right? So normally my last couple of launches, I would have about 200 people that would come in for my free event. But this time I manifested 500 who came into the free event. And that's because I'm attributing that to one of the strategies that I used, one of the actions that I took, which was I promoted the event for 2.5 weeks straight. Previously, I used to promote it for about a week. So there is a difference if you give it a little bit more time where you're selling that live free event. So that's what you have to think about for launches is you're not just selling the program. First step is selling people to join your free event and selling the heck out of it. That means you probably want to be in love with it. You probably want to recognize the value that's there and make it so that it is so valuable that you're like, why wouldn't you come? This is free. There's no reason not to be here. So I promoted it on every single platform for 2.5 weeks. I ran ads to it. I posted about it. I went on stories and shared about it and put the link in the stories. And I just kept showing up everywhere promoting this, right? I put a podcast commercial in telling everyone listening to the podcast, hey, come to the free event. And it was just invite. And my energy was like, this is the best party ever. There's no reason not to come. You have to come. It's going to make such a difference. And I really did think about if people show up to this, how are they going to feel at the end of it? And I know that whenever people come to my free events, oh my gosh, they have such big shifts. Their energy is shifted so much by the end of the week. And I kept remembering that and thinking about it and sharing the value that they were going to get. And that's why I got so many people in. All right. So that was step one of my strategy, was just promoting the heck out of my free event everywhere I could possibly think of. And it paid off. It really did. I had amazing people that came in. I had a lot of past clients come in. I had a lot of new people come in, and it was super exciting. Okay, the next piece that a lot of people miss or don't realize is necessary during a launch, if you do have a live event, is first, it's selling people on signing up for the free event. The next step is selling them on showing up for it, right? So I thought about, how can I get these people to show up for it? Because I know so many people have busy lives. I know that there's just a lot going on and there's a lot of free stuff that's offered on social media. And I thought, how can I get these people who really don't know me yet and don't really totally understand the value of it to show up for it and come to the calls, to watch the replays? So I thought of a bunch of different ways that I could make that happen. And I just implemented that. So number one of the things that I did was I gave away over $1,500 worth of prizes for people who showed up to every single day of the challenge. So if they showed up for all 5 days, they had an opportunity to be included in the prize draw. And I gave away all kinds of amazing things. I gave away a remarkable, digital notebook and pen. I gave away $500 cash prize. I gave away a one-on-one session with me. I gave away an Amazon gift card with a list of my favorite money manifestation books. And so I told everyone ahead of time, hey, if you show up to all 5 days of this challenge, you can submit to win one of these prizes. And I'll tell you what, the show rate increased. I've been doing this the past couple of launches, but I will tell you, since I've started implementing this strategy, the show up rate has risen so much. Now, why do you want to sell them on showing up? Because of course, they can't get the value, they can't get the transformation without showing up. And I do find that when something is free, they just don't have as much skin in the game, right? So if they're like, oh man, I got invited to this thing, or my kids have this, they will just miss it. But if they know there's a prize at the end of it, they might be more inclined to show up, which is going to create more transformation for them. And they're going to really get the most out of it. Another thing that I do is I send a lot of reminders and I send emails to the people who are already signed up, emails reminding them about it, sharing about what they're going to get, getting them excited about it. All of this stuff really matters. And it's stuff that I didn't implement in the beginning. But since I've started utilizing these strategies, I've noticed way more people are showing up. And then, of course, on the event or at the event for the people that show up, oh my gosh, do they get transformation? Okay, and then after the event, that's when I went into the period where I sold the mastermind. And this time around, I sold it for 2 weeks. I kept it open for applications open for 2 weeks. And I do find that that was helpful. Because before I think I've done it like a much shorter, what we call like cart open. I've done some where it's just a week. I've done 4-day cart opens, but there was something nice about keeping it open for 2 weeks because it allowed me to continuously communicate to clients. It allowed me to do some podcast episodes, explaining the value, having some interviews with past clients so that the people who might have maybe initially been on the fence could get more info and continue learning about it. So that was, I think, a helpful strategy with this launch. But of course, everyone's business is a little bit different, but I just wanted to share what I think really worked for me. Okay, so those are some of the strategies that I use. Now we're going to get into my specialty, which is energetics. All right. And I want to talk about some of the energetic practices that helped me to manifest this amazing launch and call in the right clients. That's the other thing is it's like I really called in the right clients who are ready for this and who are going to get the best results. And I just know it. So number one, in terms of energetics, when I'm launching, one of the things that I practice is moving into giving consciousness. So especially during that 5-day free event, the Money Manifestation Challenge, my intention was to just over deliver. My intention was to give those people who showed up for that challenge a transformation. And I wanted to give it everything I've got. And if you've been to one of my free events, you know that's how I roll. They are amazing. I always think I want to make this an event that like someone would literally pay thousands of dollars for. I want every single call to be worth $1,000 and to really give them value ahead of time, to get them results ahead of time. And that's like my biggest intention whenever I'm doing these, because I really do think that if somebody is on the fence or if somebody has been struggling with something for a long time and they come into your free event and they start having a shift or they start getting results when they haven't been getting results up until now, they're going to be like, dang, this person knows what she's doing and I want more of it. And I know a lot of people follow this strategy with their free events of like, it's all about just touching on what your paid offer is about and, you know, don't overgive and all that kind of stuff. And I've tried that, but it doesn't work for me. Honestly, I really wholeheartedly believe in the law of giving and receiving. And I believe that when you give, you receive. So I am just about giving my all, really over delivering, giving results ahead of time, and just really fully supporting all the people who showed up who are not paying yet, like really offering them a transformation. And I find that number one, I have way more fun when I'm doing that. It feels really good. It feels really authentic to me. And I have never had a problem with signing clients, right? So that's the strategy that works for me. And that's the energy that works for me when I am launching. Okay. So the mantra that I practiced this launch, and I always have a different mantra, just depending on like, it'll just drop in of like, what is the intentional thought that I want to practice throughout? And this time what I practiced was the thought, I am a lighthouse. And I actually would go into this visual of what if I'm just like a lighthouse? Like I just need to turn my light on. I will need to turn my energy on. I need to get into my best self. And I need to shine that out. And then people are just going to come in and they will just be attracted in. They're going to want my light, right? So I kept visualizing myself as a lighthouse and boats just coming into shore, coming and finding me. And that was like more about the energy of how I wanted to show up, which was not about trying to get people, but it was more about trying to attract people, right? And not even trying to attract, but believing that I am a light and people are attracted to my energy. And if I just light up and if I just turn it on, people are going to come in. I don't really have to try so hard. I don't have to make it happen. Like people will just come in and I can receive them. So that was a helpful little mantra that I would go to every day, and I would say it every day, and I would visualize that every single day of the whole launch. Now, another thing that I did, and I have to do this every launch, is like I said, launches can be a little bit of a roller coaster. It can be a little bit of an emotional up and down, high and low. There's a lot of energy. You feel very alive during launches, or at least let me speak for myself. I feel very alive during launches. But one thing that I really had to do and have had to do every launch I've ever done is hold space for the messy middle. And I always identify this messy middle because it not only always happens for me, but I see this with my clients where I feel like when you first open something, sometimes it's like people will come in the beginning, sometimes not, right? Sometimes they don't come in the beginning. And then there's like this, but for me, usually there's a handful of people that will come in the beginning of a launch, and then it is stagnant. No one comes in. I don't hear from a lot of people. Emails are going out. I'm like, people are opening this. People are looking at the application. Why are they not applying? I always call this the messy middle because it always seems like there's this middle period where nothing's happening and my brain goes crazy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And the doubt kicks in and the inner child drama, just the doubt, all that. It just feels messy. My brain gets messy and I just have to hold space for it. And I even identify it now. I'm like, I'm in the messy middle. I'll tell my husband, hey, I need to just like process this. Don't try to fix it. I just need to cry. And I doubt that it's going to work. I doubt that anyone else is going to come in. And I just hold space for that. And it shows up literally every launch, even if I prep for it, even if I'm like, this is going to be my intentional thought the entire launch, she still shows up. So anyways, I hold space for that and I just identify it as the messy middle and I let myself feel and work through it and process it. And of course, it always moves. It's never not moved. Another one of the energies that I held on to was holding this energy of, I know this is going to be a successful launch. I just had this intuitive hit. I had this feeling and I kept cultivating more and more of it. I kept saying it out loud, even in the messy middle. I'm like, I know it's going to be a successful launch. I feel it. And I would cultivate that feeling more and more. And I would say it even when my brain was doubting it a little bit. That was something that I just kept practicing was, I know this is going to be a successful launch and being in that energy. And I think that was really helpful in terms of manifesting. Now, because launches can be a little bit of a live roller coaster, it is really important for me, and I recommend this to all of my clients, to definitely prioritize self-care during launches. It is so important. So I, every single day, would wake up, would do my meditation, would do my breath work, I would do my little bit of journaling, and I would always exercise or go for a walk. I think I missed it maybe 2 days, but I really prioritized as much of it as I could. And I even like midway through went to Terranea, one of my favorite resorts, and I got a massage and I just did a day where I completely unplugged from it and let myself just get into receptive mode. And I think that's really, really important during launches is to take care of yourself. It pays off. And I swear, the more that I take time to prioritize that connection with myself and my self-care, I feel like it does extend time, right? Because you're more centered. So it just makes everything so much easier. So I stuck to my self-care routine. Like I said, I think there were 2 days where I didn't get my walk in. But other than that, I was good, right? I was solid with that. So that's something that I always prioritize. And it really does keep my energy up and it keeps me just as centered as I possibly can be in the midst of a launch. Okay, another energetic practice that I do really consistently, and I especially did for this launch, was I practiced detachment, which is me not attaching the results to my self-worth or to anything about me. It's just kind of holding it with a light touch, not making too big a deal out of the goal, right? So I always think of it like this. Attachment is very different from commitment. So I stay in commitment the whole time, right? I mean, I go all in. Like I said, I have 3 different periods of selling. I sell the heck out of the free event. I go all in on the free event. Then I spend 2 weeks selling the heck out of the mastermind, and I go all in. I'm committed. I'm committed to finding those clients who could benefit from this. That's different from attachment. Attachment is, I need them. I need to get them. If I don't, it's going to mean all of these things about me. And I'm only going to be happy if I have a super successful launch. And that energy does not help you manifest. And it is so not fun to be in a launch or any other time. So I really practice letting go of attachment and instead staying committed. But I think about it like this. And I think it's Jack Campbell that says, high intention, high involvement, low attachment. And that is a mantra that I come back to all the time. High intention, high involvement, low attachment. And one of the things that helps me with that is my prayer is always just, Spirit, universe, God, just bring me the clients that are meant to be in this mastermind. Like, please draw in the clients who are going to get the most out of this. Please bring me the right group of people that are going to get along so well and they're going to become soul friends and family for life. And please just bring in the right people. Please help them find the courage to say yes. Please help them find the resources to make it happen. And that's really my prayer, is this or something even better for the highest good of all concerned. So I may say, yes, it's my goal to have X amount, but honestly, the thing that I want the most is just the right people in. And that has never gone wrong. I will tell you what, most launches, I've had some launches where I have, hit my goal. I've had some where I've mega exceeded my goal. And then many where I don't hit my goal that my brain made up. But one thing that I do know is every single launch is exactly as it should have been. And I always attract in the right people, the right amount of people, and it always ends up perfect. So whenever I can hold that, it allows me to not attach so much to the goal that my mind just made up, right? It doesn't really mean that much. So I don't attach so much to it. I just commit to it. And that I find very, very helpful. Okay, last but not least, in terms of energetic practices, and this one I think I need to do a whole podcast episode on, is selling from abundance. So that is what I practiced during this launch. I sold only from the energy of abundance. What do I mean by that? It means I got myself into sufficiency. I got myself into, I have enough. I am safe. I don't need anyone or anything. I'm not coming from needy energy. I'm coming from abundance of like, I can't wait to make an impact. I want to sell this to the people who are meant to be in it. And I trust that the right people are coming in. And so selling from abundance, some of the actions that allows me to take, which is also why I think I get the most aligned clients into my containers that are able to manifest amazing results, is because I will not accept someone in that I don't think is right for it. So I had at least probably 8 additional probably more than that, maybe, let's just say around 8 additional people who applied, who would have said yes if I accepted them and they were ready to go. but I knew they weren't quite ready for it, or it wasn't the right container for them. So I was able to sell from abundance, and I was really truly thinking about what is best for them, what's going to get them the best results. So there was a number of people who wanted to come in, but I had this hunch, hey, let's stay a little bit longer in the money manifestation movement. Let me help you get a little bit more results there. Let me help you step into this there first before you come into the mastermind, because that I think is what's going to be best for them and for the mastermind, right? Like I also want the mastermind to have people who are really around the same level so that the coaching is the most potent, so that they can really show up and get the most out of it with each other. So I don't just accept anyone in. I really think about what is best for them. And I think that is because I sell from abundance, that feeling of abundance of like, I'm really able to decipher, is this right? Is this the right container? Are you going to get the most out of it? And oh my gosh, that makes such a difference because the people that come in are the most aligned and they really do get great results. And also, I think it just builds up amazing trust because people are like, wait, what? Like, you mean you don't want to take my money? You know what I mean? And like, I know I've had an experience like that with another, on another consult. This was years ago. And when I had that experience where she was selling a mastermind, I wasn't quite ready for it. I got on the call with her. I was ready to go. And she said, you know, Jamie, I actually would recommend this first. I'd recommend something else. And it wasn't even anything to do with that program, wasn't anything to do with that coach. And she said, start there, then come back. And I appreciated that so much. I said, I have never had someone be honest with me on a sales call in my entire life, I don't think. And since then, we have developed such a relationship. And of course, I ended up coming back. Like, I was so moved by that experience that I decided that is who I'm always going to be. I am never going to sell something to someone that isn't either ready for it or it's not the right container. If I feel like there's somewhere else better to go or start, I will offer that. So selling from abundance is the final energetic practice that I think has made this launch absolutely amazing. So anyways, I hope these are helpful for you. I love launching. I think it's so much fun. It is a wild ride. And if you're launching, try some of these practices out and let me know. Come find me on IG and let me know, what you're practicing, what's working, what's not working. I love, love, love connecting with all of you, hearing from all of you. And there is nothing I like more than like celebrating you creating results, celebrating you manifesting things that you've been dreaming of. Like I live for that. So please come and share that stuff with me. Okay. All right. I will talk to you all next week. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope this episode is something that you'll be able to add to your manifestation toolbox to come back to when you need a little extra motivation. If you like what you've heard today and want to take it deeper, you've got to come check out my signature coaching program, the Money Manifestation Movement. It's the place where you'll not only learn manifestation, but you'll begin to live it alongside me and an amazing community of like-minded entrepreneurs doing this work together. Head on over to jamieberman.com to learn more.